What's up guys, welcome back to the Gear Garden. This week we are talking about the legendary Mariposa 60-liter pack by Gossamer Gear. Before we get into the video, I just wanted to say thank you for Gossamer Gear for sending me this pack. They did not ask me to say or do anything, so this is just my honest review. This pack comes in at a total of $315. There's 3 different color variations, and this specific one that I have is a size medium in the gray and blue colorway. It is made of a 100D and 210 denier nylon, thicker on the bottom, thinner on the rest of the pack, and it weighs 34.2 ounces. So let's get right into the features. On the back of this pack here, this is the new PVT hip belt on here. It's not the standard ones that comes with it, and this one kind of actually moves with your body a little bit. And I think that's pretty cool because it sits on your hips nice, and it's a comfy hip belt. It's got 2 good pockets on here, one-handed zip. Of course, when I do it right now, it doesn't work, but that's totally okay. And some other things that I love about Gossamer Gear, especially just any of their packs in general, is they always come with this cool seat pad. They have so many different colors because there's just so many different variants of this. Another blue one to add to the collection. It slips right in, so if you're someone that doesn't want that, or if you want to put something else in there, there's these 2 slips in here, as well as you can see this is where the frame kind of sits in there as well in the hip belt. And it's pretty easy to just put right back in there, especially when you're on the trail and you want to sit down and you're like, I don't want to take out, if you're somebody that brings a chair and it's not on the outside, just pull it out and sit on it. Use it as a knee pad at camp, use it as anything, under your pad, your head, whatever you want to use it for. One thing that Gossamer is also really cool with, and I feel like it's pretty competitive, is their thick and comfy shoulder straps. I can't say enough how comfortable every Gossamer Gear pack I own is, and it's because of these thick, comfy straps. I'm not sure what exactly they use inside of this that's different than any other brand, but I will say they're one of the more comfier packs that I have ever owned. I can't deny that. The front here comes with cool little straps. You can put your inReach on there, some sort of carabiner. They have so many different attachments that sit on the front of these. You know, the Gossamer water pockets and strapped to these little guys right here, these little O-rings. You got the adjustable sternum strap, and one thing I do like, I'm not sure if they updated on this one because this is a newer pack or if they had it before, but this side is stretchy, so when you're breathing, it's like helpful when you take a deep breath, because your chest can actually expand with it and it doesn't feel like it's getting trapped. As well as, you know, it's pretty adjustable, so it's just a slide up and down, which I feel like a lot of packs don't do. They're either fixed or you have to physically take that whole thing off just to put it somewhere for your liking. So the on-the-go adjustments are pretty nice. Working our way up to the top. So for people that aren't familiar with load lifters, as you can see, all you do is just pull them down as you're walking, and you want to do it evenly, and you'll feel this physically come up off of your shoulders. And it's like the coolest but weirdest thing. I've gotten so used to not using them that when I had it on my back fully loaded, it was like feeling almost like I wasn't wearing a pack because it pulls the weight off your shoulders a little bit and puts it more towards your back, I believe. And so as you get used to packs without load lifters and then throwing this back on, it is just so odd, but it's so cool at the same time. Up at the top here, you can see there's a hydration port here if you're somebody that uses that kind of stuff, like a Camelback or any sort of bladder with the hose. If you want to put it in the pack and string the hose through here, you can put it right through this little blue loop. That way it's not just floating around everywhere when you're walking. It makes it pretty easy to keep it on the back. As well as some more tie-off points. There's like 7 or 8 on the back. Yeah, 2, 4, 6, 8, all across this thing. So there's plenty of tie-out points that you can add and customize things that you might want on this pack. Okay, we got the back covered here, so let's turn it over. As you can see, the first thing on the top here is this big map pocket, which is fairly sizable. I will say it's a lot harder to use when this pack is fully stretched out because there's so much pressure going on it. So when you have it packed like this, the way I do with the super dialed in base weight here and smaller compact gear, this pocket is way more accessible and way more useful. So even though it is on the top right here, you would think that's pretty easy to get into, but like I said, if it's super stuffed, that pocket's next to nothing and it's kind of useless in that way. The next thing is one of the water bottle pockets, which is actually just a pocket for anything. My buddies put their tents in their Mariposas. In this case, I'll just have my one water and my Z light in here. That way I know it's there. You know, I typically like having the range and reach for both of my water bottle pockets, but in this case, it's just once I know that one's getting empty or low, I'll just stop, have someone either take it out for me and switch it, or take the pack off and put it in there and swap it out till I filter. On this pocket, we have the regular water bottle pocket that's higher on the back and then cuts down low, so it's easier access to actually get out of your pack when you're walking. You don't have to stop or have someone get it for you. And then above that, conveniently, there is this tiny little stove pocket. Ever since I started packing my stove in my pack, I've put it in my quilt because I always say it's like the big lump that everybody puts in last. So in that way, this is a pretty genius pocket for just putting that or something else in there so you don't have to worry about it. Or if you want to put maybe your headlamp or some other quick access things you might need, right there is perfect. For the mesh is not the thickest, but it is really stretchy. And my friends have used this pack for a couple years and it's pretty durable. A couple of them have holes in it now, but one was from like a fish hook. And so you can't really be mad at the ground for that because the ground didn't do it. So I will say it's not the thickest, so therefore you have to kind of probably treat it a little more careful than a super like Dyneema mesh or something, but it's super stretchy and it really stretches. You can compact and stuff the hell out of this and it goes right back. So it will sag eventually, but for the time being, in the next like year or so, it will not sag. Okay, so this is one of the two frame packs Gossamer makes. They make the Mariposa and the Gorilla. Both of them have the same kind of frame. It's like one of these weird shapes, and the cool part about it is that you have the option to take it out, so it's not fixed. So you can make any of their frame packs into frameless packs or vice versa. So there's a lot of changes you can do to these packs, as well as the hip belt. The hip belt doesn't need to stay the same. It doesn't have to be this one. You can take the hip belt off, or they have a variety of different hip belts on their website for relatively cheap. And for all of these packs that you see, I actually have links for Gossamer and Hyperlight and Ombras, all this stuff down below. So if you're interested in buying one of these packs, please feel free to go down and click the link, and I do get compensation from that. So anything you do buy from those links does come back and directly support the channel, so I'd appreciate that. Okay, so pros and cons for the Mariposa itself. The pros, let's start with the pros. Pros, I love Gossamer's back pads and I love their straps. They're super comfy, like I had mentioned before, and these are interchangeable. There's different colors, there's even different styles of back pads you can buy on their site as well. All of the actual comfort settings of this, like the hip belt, all the cushion, it's just phenomenal. It's very comfortable to wear, never hurts, doesn't get sore. I also think the load lifters are really cool on their packs. You know, I think load lifters are really helpful and beneficial to a lot of people, especially if you want several different ways to shift your weight. I think that's really beneficial. I'm also a really big fan of the mesh, like I mentioned. The mesh is super stuffy. It's really convenient for putting stuff in there and just taking things out. It's not hard to get in or out of. Now, let's go to the cons. For me, at this point in my life, I've used so many different kinds of backpacks that I just sometimes wonder why things are done the way they are. And it's not just Gossamer Gear, it's any kind of pack company, right? So like for people that backpack, I feel like convenience is huge. So it's like we have really just one water bottle pocket on here. And I mean, you can fit 2 waters in there, but, and this is just my personal complaint. I'm sure I know for a fact there's a cult following for this pack, so I'm sorry if this hurt your feelings. But I just really enjoy having 2 options for a water bottle pocket because it's not just water that I can put in there, I can put something else in there, and I just don't want to have to take my pack off or rely on someone else to get those things for me. As well as this pocket, it's so, yeah, I understand it's like so convenient and so cool, but it just like, seems like it just gets in the way a little bit, you know? This is just nitpicking at this point, but this is just not my favorite feature. I understand some people love that, but this is just something I'm not a fan of. As well as the tall pocket. The tall pocket, it's great for waterproofing things, I guess, and keeping things you might not want to get wet in the higher pocket, but like that's what the pack's for. So to me, I would put everything inside my pack that I just don't want to get wet. Also, roll top. I'm a big roll top packs guy. I feel like a lot of people are. This just makes it a little bit not as versatile. You know, there's no Y strap on the top where I can have the option of putting the bear can on top. So to me, those are my things I wish would change about this pack, as well as a trash pocket. I feel like this is not at Gossamer, this is at anybody, there just needs to be a trash pocket on the bottom of every pack. I think that is the coolest and easiest feature. I don't care if it adds an extra ounce or 2, like that is so convenient and that just needs to be on every pack, as well as adding some little mesh pouches on every pack. I feel like every pack needs mesh pouches on the front. It's just something that I think is beneficial that everyone can use. So I really think and hope that they hear these things and maybe fix some of them, because I have, what, 7 Gossamer packs, and I think that all of them have outstanding features, but I would just love to put all of my favorite features onto one pack, and I feel like it would just be this mega pack. So hopefully you're listening and you let me do that with you. Thank you guys again for watching this video. Please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe down below. Make sure you click the links down there so you can get these packs, and I get some commission from it to help me build more videos like this. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next week.